What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another episode of the M1 Concourse tutorial, and today we're going to be looking at turns 3 and 4. Alright, turns 3 and 4 are both left-handers, 90 degrees. They vary in radius. Turn 3 is a little bit tighter and turn 4 opens up a little bit. So let's take a look at it. Alright, that was really fast, so let's break it down. Okay, you're going to be coming up the slight hill after turn 2, and you're going to be looking for your turn-in cone on your right-hand side. One of the common mistakes people make is they get fixated on the apex at this point, and they end up cutting the corner of the apex. So you're going to want to be looking for the turn-in cone at turn 3 in your peripheral vision while also keeping the car track right. While you're doing that, you should be looking far ahead to the apex cone on turn 3. Doing this will allow you to have a nice smooth turn. If you focus on the front of the car and look down at the turn-in cone, you'll tend to have a choppier turn. So as we make our turn in to turn 3, we're looking towards that apex cone and getting that left front tire right along the curbing in the middle of the turn 3. As you can see, we're still on the brakes a little bit here and trailing off as we enter the apex. As we exit the apex of 3, we're back on the throttle, gently squeezing on, not too quickly, as we track all the way out to the right to the yellow curbing. Use all the track, but make sure not to dip a wheel into the dirt after the yellow curbing. We unwind the wheel along the yellow curbing here, and as you can see with the steering angle, it's pretty straight here. There's a momentary straightaway before we get set up for turn 4. Now we're just starting our initial turn in for 4, and look at the turn-in cone, how far ahead it is. Many cars, that cone is a little bit late, so I like to get turned in a little bit early as I'm still adding on the power. You can see we're not wide open throttle yet, and we're breathing off the throttle a little bit to get down to that apex. We're looking far ahead here through turn 4's apex cone, all the way through the exit here. Your eyes should be looking very far ahead and using your peripheral vision to ride the apex through 4. I like to think of 4 as more of an apex zone than an apex point. As we ride the curbing or get close to the curbing through turn 4. And as you can see, we only have a little bit of maintenance throttle through here. As we're exiting, starting to apply the throttle. The earlier you can get on the throttle here, the better, but that's going to be dependent on your car's power level and grip. So we're in a 760 rear wheel horsepower C7Z06 that has 777 rear wheel torque at 3,500 RPM. So we're being very cautious in our power application. There's plenty of torque on hand. As you can see, we're half throttle as we're exiting here, making our way over to the right to the yellow track out curbing, using all the track, tracking all the way out, and then finally, as we're fully tracked out and the steering wheel is almost straight, we're back to wide open throttle. We're in wide open throttle, heading towards turn 5. All right, so let's see that again, fast. little wiggle there between 3 and 4. Slight steering wheel correction to fix that. Okay, so you can see here in the steering angle we had 8 degrees right here, trying to correct a little bit of oversteer. You can see the steering angle coming from left back down to center. As it reaches center, the track out point, we added a little bit of right to correct some minor oversteer, and we're back to turning in to go left for turn 4. Another interesting point here is when we made that steering correction between 3 and 4, we didn't chop out of the throttle, we stayed into it. We were about 83% throttle there, as not to chop out and make the back end light and have it come all the way around. Okay, so here's what turn 3 and 4 looks like from above. We've got our turn in, apex, and track out cones set up here for turns 3 and 4. In the first video we didn't talk at all about flag stands because in turns 1 and 2 there typically aren't flag stands, but turn 4 you're going to see your first flag stand right here. That little box you can see is the flag stand, and from there the flagger can see turns 3 and 4 as well as down the back straight. So you're going to want to take note of that, wave to them on your in and out laps, let them know that you see them, and keep an eye out here for different flags. So you're going to be coming up from turn 2 up the straightaway here. You're going to want to stay track right, wait for the turn in cone at 3, and look ahead to the apex of 3, getting as tight as you can to the apex of 3 and winding it all the way out to the track out on the yellow curbing. Again, don't go over the yellow curbing to the dirt part and drop a wheel. That could get you a black flag. Stay track right as you're coming up on 4. Again, I like to turn in a little bit early and ride the curbing of the apex through 4. And then track all the way out to the left at the exit of turn 4. So let's take a look at some of the mistakes people make on turns 3 and 4. Like we said, people tend to look for the apex of turn 3 early, and they start creeping over to the middle of the track. And what happens then? They apex early, and they're going too fast, and they find themselves over here at track out at the exit, and the potential of going off, or if you try and make up for it and pinch it, the car doesn't like that, and you can oversteer and you may end up over here. Sometimes I've seen people overcorrect here and end up backwards here or in the grass over here. As I mentioned earlier, a later turn in for turn 4 tends to be the safer line, because if you're later and you come down here, you got all the room you want to track out at your own pace. And it's a lot safer because this is the guardrail, so you have about 5 feet of space here, not much runoff. As your skills improved, you can see how early you can turn into 4 to hit that apex perfectly, make that a nice smooth corner. But again, that's for advanced drivers, because if you are going too fast and you can't keep it on the track at the track out point here, you're again about 5 feet from a guardrail there, and that is not fun. To hit that, you can bounce off and end up over here, or you can try to pinch it and get the back end loose, and you'll also end up over here. Well, that's it for turns 3 and 4. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for future videos on the rest of the turns.